So today we're going to be talking about your split jerks and specifically looking at that initial dip and drive. This is where you generate all the power, which then gives you the time to get into your split to receive the bar. Okay, so if you don't get this part right, then you're already getting yourself off to a bad start, which you're going to have to make up for later on in the lift. Okay, so obviously first thing with your dip and drive is thinking about your setup. So obviously with your feet, there's a little bit of personal preference here, okay, but you can be anywhere between hip and shoulder width, depending on where you feel most comfortable, okay, and that's comfort both in terms of where you feel like you can generate the most power, okay, but also where you feel like you're most balanced. If you're doing a split jerk with a heavy weight and you go down into that dip and you don't feel nice and balanced, then you're going to struggle to generate as much power as you possibly can, and it's going to knock your confidence for later on in the lift. So you want to find a width that's right for you, okay, and then obviously then as well from there you're going to have that bar racked up on your chest, okay, so we want those elbows up so the bar's sitting right across your collarbone, okay. That's going to make sure that when you go down into your dip you stay nice and balanced. It's going to make it easier for you to keep your chest up, less likely for you to get pulled forward onto your toes. So when you're in that position, all right, what you're going to be thinking of is keeping your chest up, keeping your elbows up, and keeping your weight nice and balanced on your feet. Okay, at this point, you don't want to be on your toes or your heels. You want to stay completely balanced, ready to start the movement. Okay, as you go down into that dip, we want to focus on keeping your chest up. Okay, like I said, we don't want your chest leaning forward because that's likely to mean that when you do go through the drive, you're going to be coming forward onto your tiptoes and you're going to push the bar out in front of you. Okay, so you want to keep your chest up as much as possible, almost imagining that you're going to be sliding with your back straight up and down the wall. Okay, trying to keep that kind of contact with the wall to really help cue that chest up, back straight position. Okay, obviously you're going to keep your elbows up the whole time there, and we're going to make sure that we're bending both your knees and hips at the same time. Okay, we don't want to end up just bending your knees, ending up in a very knees forward position, and equally if we just bend your hips, then you're going to end up with a very chest forward position, neither of which is ideal when it comes to finishing that extension. Okay, so you want your hips and knees bending at the same time. Okay, with your knees there's going to be a little bit of variation depending on your foot position. Okay, it might come slightly forward over your toe, it might come out to the side. Again, there's always going to be that bit of variation there depending on your own biomechanics, but the main thing is keeping that weight quite evenly distributed on your foot. Okay, you don't want to be coming up onto your toes in that initial dip, and you don't want to be rocking back on your heels. Okay, so finding that balance point where between your knees and hips, and also the angle of your knees so that you stay nice and balanced on your feet, is really, really important. Okay, obviously as you hit the bottom of that dip position, we're going to make sure that we're chest up, feet flat on the floor, okay, weight nice and evenly distributed. If anything, we want the weight perhaps slightly back towards your heels, okay, ready to start that drive. Okay, obviously from that position then we're going to focus on that extension, and again as we extend we're still going to focus on keeping that chest up. Okay, that's really important. You don't want to let your chest drop as soon as you start the drive, because again it's going to push you forward onto your toes. Okay, but as you do drive you really want to focus on pushing through the heel of your foot, okay, so that you're driving up through your heel. That's going to help you stay nice and straight, and then coming up onto your toes at the very end when you hit that triple extension, as opposed to trying to push through your toes straight away. Okay, losing balance, again getting yourself pushed forward onto your toes, losing how much power you can generate from that dip and drive, okay, and ending up most likely having to step forward into your split to help you hold onto the bar and stop you losing the bar out in front. Okay, so they're the key positions that we really want to be looking at. Okay, obviously like I say, the common faults that we do tend to see is letting your chest drop in your dip or coming onto your toes in your dip, okay, which again like I say is just going to lead to you chasing the bar out in front of you, making it much harder, especially at heavier weights, for you to land in a nice stable split.